this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoJo Movie So Awesome. I'm Joe.
I'm one Jin.
Today we're going to talk about Barry Season 4, Episode 7. Spoilers, full spoilers for the episode ahead.
So if you haven't seen it, please come back after watching the show.
You have been warned.
Let's begin.
You know, I got to say, now that we're close to the finale, you know, I really want to talk about like the themes of Barry, the entire series, and I can't help but notice that, you know, the question was in season 1 was, can people change, right? Because Barry wants to change, and then we keep seeing him through his bad decisions and the world going back to that violent self, but it's centered around Barry, but this final season is like putting a spotlight on all individual characters.
Yeah, good point.
And I think the first one to be punished is Gene. Because Gene Cousineau, the thing is, I mean, you're going to share your opinion soon, so, but for me, what it was, I think he really did try to change. But
yes.
But okay, let me go first. But him coming back to LA and being, quote unquote, tempted again by the fame, cause his downfall now. Because if he went to Sally instead of fulfilling his selfish needs, I felt like he would have gotten off. So like, I think this really sums up Barry in that it is a morality tale where the universe is kind of judging you.
Yeah. And
I think the problem with every character now is being unable to let go of their like ego and petty grievances. Even Fuches, like I think his need to get back at Barry is going to cost him. We're going to get like John Wick style violence.
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
right. I mean, we saw those like 4 professional killers failing, but we know that Barry is he's gonna cause some havoc. And going back to Gene Cousineau, I love the way that Jim Moss knew exactly what he would fall for. And I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was hilarious.
And Mark Wahlberg.
And Mark Wahlberg. He knew exactly what he would be receptive to. And the fact that he just fell for it, I think there's a comedy there. And also now, he's now under under different light. Now he's being accused of actually plotting the murder.
No, because it's ironic because that's how they got Barry in season 3. Like, I think that's also another like theme of the series is that, you know, when you were the one setting the trap, like you know everything and you think you're in control, but it's kind of coming back to Gene too, because yes, Barry maybe he deserves to maybe get life sentences in jail for all the murders he committed. But Gene, it was also right that he took the money. He also looked the other way while it was convenient for him. But the question is, does he deserve, you know, this, right? You know, because I feel like Barry is the one that's getting off easy.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it,
far.
Yeah, if you think about it, season 4, like in season 3, his dream sequence is basically him in hell. I think.
That sequence with the beach.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, even I think Sally's punishment is too much considering what she did. Yeah, she was a little selfish and narcissistic, and she wanted to go into the movie business. Yeah, she was maybe a little not in tune with other people's needs, but that doesn't mean like you have to be in a situation you murder somebody and have a kid and be trapped in an anonymous life, right? But I do think Fuches and NoHo Hank will like deserve everything that's coming to them. Listen, even NoHo Hank, like the irony of this season is like, man, like you were going legit, I felt, with that Fortune 500 company, and you just had to get involved with Fuches, and you just had to push him, and now you're about to get, like, your men are dead.
Yeah, you had like 4 decapitated heads delivered to your house.
I think so, but I think the big showdown will be with Fuches. He is sort of the father figure, right? And you know, But I do, in a weird way, I think Fuches is the only one realizing his true self.
The Raven.
You know what? Like, yeah, because if you, like, but like, NoHo Hank is in denial, right? He's in denial of killing Cristobal.
Yeah.
That he's maybe a crime boss. He's trying to look legitimate. And Sally is pretending she's okay when in fact she's traumatized completely by, the events that happened because of the biker murder. Barry thinks, listening to Christ radio will change him.
And finding God is going to save him from an eternity in hell.
Yeah, but Fuches is like, why would I monitor crime when I can be the crime lord? And then he made this multiracial prison gang that is, from the looks of it, the most ruthless and open organization in the world. And they're so open. You know, the funny thing is, when that guy spoke Spanish about how stupid the Fast and Furious movie is, the fact that everybody understood that was fucking funny to me.
They all just like sit there
and listen.
Yeah, just listen. And we could kind of tell that they all understood what he was on.
It's like
he was on about.
Like they're the happiest gangsters in the world. Oh man. So
you know how NoHo Hank has been striving to, was it Cristobal? Like striving to create this paradise of gangsters. I think Fuches, he realized their dream.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah. Because that's the gangster's paradise.
It is, isn't it? They're all chilling in a fucking $100 mailer mansion,
like up on the hill with great view.
Yo, but they are organized as fuck. When NoHo Hank attacked them, their response was immediate. Like there's
like that rocket shot and
after the rocket, I found it so funny that immediately there are boys coming down the hill.
I mean, that was some Taliban shit. They all like storm like the source, the origin of the fire,
and there are guards down there that like circles them and traps them in this like parking lot like zone. And the phone call was funny too. Call them off. And the Fuches was like now like complete control.
Oh man. And I love the fact that the Raven thing started as like an idea, but I love how the Raven kind of manifested itself.
No, but that's the theme of this whole series. Remember, like the first season was about Barry play acting. So like this is a series about actors acting in a series that is about acting. So it is it's like Shakespeare in that sense, where you're kind of asking, we're all playing a role, the function. But I think the Fuches case is interesting in that it's usually like art imitates life. Now it's like life imitates art. Or was it the other way around?
Like, the Raven tattoo and everything.
Yeah, because it's really about reality. Because I think this episode, this season especially, I think a lot of people ask themselves, is this real? Ever since the time jump, and even before, because we keep jumping back with the dream of him being a kid.
Yeah.
So like, I think the whole series has been building up to this season in the fact that they're asking, what is real? Like, is it real? Because Gene getting caught in that setup was also very meta. Like, because we as an audience know it's complete horseshit. But like, what is reality? Reality is like a story that everybody believes, I guess. And we like Barry gets to like, I think it owes a lot to the Cohen brothers too. Because, in the Coen brothers, like, there are a lot of, like, silly events. You know how, like, for instance, like, even in Fargo, there's, like, an hour of silly events building up.
Yeah.
And they all have consequences. It's like a...
And it kind of focuses on the decisions that people make.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm saying, like, Barry is similar in the fact that it is a morality tale where every little thing that you thought was inconsequential
has a consequence.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah, and I'm constantly fascinated by Fuches' organization because they're so savage and yet still civilized at the same time. Like the manner and the attitude in which they let the ex-lover and her daughter go.
I don't think they're ex-lovers; they're still lovers. Remember, Fuches watched them go to the safe zone.
Yeah, I mean, they just escort them to the car and they gently go.
Yeah, the daughters. That was, yeah, you told us that numerous times. Yeah, but you saying it saying two different things. And I like how Fuches is so calm and trying to explain.
And the fact that they were willing to have a talk about this was hilarious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love how like the boys are like really serious about trying to help their boss.
Yeah, it's like next time.
That left Spanish guy was the most funniest guy. He looks like such a badass, but he's like, here's an idea. Maybe we take them to a nice restaurant. And then like Fuches, I love his like, because Fuches is an interesting character in that like he's flowery with language, right? So that's also an interesting thing. Like I feel like, because I feel like Gene does that too. And it's really about control. Fuches is a character about control. Yeah. But I love his language. Yes, delightful meal. Like no, like by the time they come back,
where everything would have been cleaned up.
Yeah. No, but like, you know what's great about this show is I think they use the comedy well to make everything believable. You know, having comedy means like I think we're more tolerant to like ridiculous things.
Yeah.
But Fuches coming out of prison and everything was really convincing. Like, I love how like they and we talked about consequences, right? It's funny how what you intended. Another aspect of the show is that what you intended doesn't come to fruition. Something completely
different,
unexpected happens, like from what your plan was. Remember, this whole series is about your plan failing. Because remember season 2 where like Barry has that like he kills all those Chechens.
Yeah,
it's really unintended consequences too. You know, it's really about that. It's you know, I think the show is like a little bit nihilistic in that sense though too. Also, it's especially this season. Don't you think this season was really dark?
Yeah, and I kind of wonder where why Barry was on that like illusion trip while he was chained. Well, not chained, taped to the chair. Because it got me wondering, was he just like sleeping, or did Jim Moss give him some sort of like drugs?
That's the impression I got though.
Like to induce that hallucination or something. I was wondering what that was about.
I think it's about guilt. Like, cause I felt like that hallucinations effect was really about guilt. And it was interesting.
Oh, and talking of comedy, we have to go back to the recruitment scene where NoHo Hank has to sign off
on the
and
box.
Approve on the foo box. What were they? Like 4 ultimate badass killers or something. Yeah, and one dude was like really good looking. Yeah. And NoHo Hank's like, yes please.
Yes please. He's a sharpshooter. Yes you are. Yeah, that was funny. Oh man.
That was hilarious.
And it is a repeat though. NoHo Hank's assassination attempts always fail. Remember in season 2, he tries to kill Barry, and then the shooter sucks at it. So why didn't you tell me this? We have a power dynamic that I'm a manipulator, and they get shot. But you know, I did like some of the camera work was really good too. I love when NoHo Hank appears to Sally. You know, because he's all in a mess, but he comes out from the dark. You know, because NoHo Hank is an evil character. Like, you know, he's in complete denial of who he is. Yeah. But in a way, he's like Barry. You know, if you think about it, though, now that we mention it, since season 1, Fuches was really clear about what Barry needs to do, and I don't think he changed. So, I mean, there is interesting tidbits. Yeah.
So, what I'm wondering about what's going to happen in the last season is, will it just be like a face-off between Fuches and Barry, or what role will NoHo Hank play in all this?
Well, it's really interesting, though, right? Will Barry voluntarily get captured and be sent to Fuches? Or is it going to be like Barry kills NoHo Hank's crew, and then NoHo Hank tells him that Fuches wanted you, so he goes to face Fuches. Because I think, like, we've been dying to see a face-off between Barry and Fuches now. Remember this season, too? Like, they traded insults over the phone, and then, you know, Fuches was in a farm getting ready to, you know, marry this beautiful Russian lady, but he comes back because of his hatred towards Barry. Like his need to,
and you know that happens again when he's like in that farm. after he came back to the U.S. But then it's after he finds that news article about Barry, like at the floor of the car, I mean the truck, that he goes straight back to Barry.
Yeah, but it's really about letting go, and they just can't let go. And even Barry, like we have to ask ourselves: did he really need to kill Gene Cousineau? Like, why do you like? So the movie comes out, no one can find you anyway. Like, why do you need to go and kill him? That gave me flashback of the jail scene where the reporter asked the Vanity Fair reporter asks him, and he says, Gene doesn't have the right to tell my story. It's like his hatred towards him.
Kind of gets upset.
Yeah, because if you think about it, safety-wise, you going to L.A. is a risk. Like, just stay hidden. No one knows you. Like, why do you need to go and kill him?
Yeah. And like you said, they all just can't let go.
But you know what? You know, for me, what would be interesting about finale is how John acts. How Barry's son. Because he saw his mother without the wig.
Yeah, and he now realizes it's all fabricated.
Exactly. And I think, like, Barry keep getting his, like, kid flashback scene. I feel like his kid is going to become a killer, too.
Just like Barry.
Yeah, I think it's like... It reminds me of Fargo season 4, where like that little black kid turns out to become the killer.
Yeah, the one with the bolo tie.
Yeah, it's how you're raised, and you know, I feel like they're setting up John becoming something, and then we might get like a flashback or a future jump again. Maybe at the ending scene we see John holding a gun, and it implies that he's gonna be like Leon's Natalie Portman
Matilda.
Shit. But anyway, shall we give a number grade to this episode?
I mean, I would give this episode an 8.5.
8.5. I give it a 9. I love the build up. Like all the dialogue was really sharp too. That beheading, post-beheading gang meeting caught me off guard completely. Like, I even found the mopping funny. Like,
it's so banal.
Yeah, this huge dude is just mopping the floor like it's like business as usual. And they're so casual about the beheading. Like, it's so funny. I love Fuches' line in Raven's flock as blood artists. We're modern day barbarians. Some poetic shit. Like,
yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah. Modern day barbarians.
Like he's basically like a cult leader to these fucking gangsters. Yeah. No, but the funny thing is though, like he wanted Barry. Like he has like tons of berries now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So but I give it a 9.
No need to obsess over him.
Anyway, the finale is upon us within 48 hours, I think. So I hope it will be a grand finale. Next week, we will be talking about the finale and the whole series as a whole. Thank you so much. This has been Joji Movie So Awesome. I was Joe.
I was Jin.
We'll see you soon.
We'll be right back.